this video, I'm going to walk through how to get a website up and running in AttractWell quickly without using their quick setup or simple site options, which are there to create a quick homepage for yourself. But if you want something a bit more custom, we're going to walk through how to go about that, hopefully in a smooth step-by-step process that you can follow easily. And the advantage here is that you can watch this video over and over and pause it where needed, so that if I talk fast, it really shouldn't make a difference because I know I talk fast, but I do this every day, and so I just tend to speed up because I know all the steps. But when you come into your account, you're going to be going to the website part of the menu, and we're going to go to Customize My Site. First thing you want to do is upload a logo image. If you click over these little, or hover over these little eyes, it tells you the size. Okay, 200 to 600 pixels wide with a transparent background. Okay, that's what is going to look the best. So you want to find something that is 200 by 600, make it in Canva, and then it's as big as it's going to be able to be in the system. There's lots of custom ways you can make your logo look different and look bigger, but just the built-in header in AttractWell is going to put the logo here in the upper left corner of the header. So if you're using the default header, if you're turning the header on different pages, this is going to show up. If you switch it to text and just put your name or your business name, you're just going to have text at the top in that spot that says your business name. And there's no way to really modify how that looks. So I suggest a logo for a custom effect, and then have a favicon. The favicon is the little icon that shows up in your browser tab. If you do not put something here, you're going to have the AttractWell bullseye as your favicon. So you want to consider that and put that there. And then here you see it says site page footer. I really recommend having a default footer that's custom. Right now it's the built-in default footer. So it's the one that they provide, and it's kind of a big black blob at the bottom that says, get your own AttractWell system here, or like powered by AttractWell or something like that. So what you need to do if you want to have a custom footer, and again, if you're on the lower plans with them, you might not have this feature, but I think if you're like basic or higher, you'll have this feature to customize this. You're going to have to go to pages, and you're going to hit add a page, and then go to blank and hit a blank page. And then you're going to name it footer. So you're going to settings and you're naming this footer. So I went to settings. Sorry, I did that really fast. I know. I went to settings and named it footer, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to add a section, and I usually add a 2-column section right off the bat. I assume that's what your footer is going to be, but you can make it look however you want. And then I'm going to hit the pencil here and hit background color, pick a background color. I'm going to go to padding on the background and make this as wide as I want. And then in each of these, you're going to be putting your social media links, your terms, whatever you need in your footer. So I'll say like follow me on social, and I'm gonna make that white. Excuse my dog. And I'm gonna go underneath this and add, I made a space there I didn't want. I'm going to add the social media icons. Now they don't have built-in icons. I'm hoping that's coming, but I just save them on my desktop so that I can have them for quick access. But if you are like, where do I get social media icons? Canva. Go to Canva, open up a square document in Canva, and type in the elements Facebook icon, and you'll see them there. You can change the color of them, download them with a transparent background. So it has to be a PNG with a transparent background, and you can put them in here. So you can see I put the Facebook icon there. I changed the size, and when I click on it, I can hit insert link, and I can put my Facebook handle there, open in a new tab, insert, and it will hyperlink this to my social media. So that's what you have to do right now. Again, I'm hoping that they set up more of a built-in social media feature on the page builder. I think that is coming down the line. So we'll see what happens. But over here, this is where I would put copyright 2595, your business name. And I'm going to do that in white again. And then underneath that, you might do terms and privacy policy, maybe refund policy. These will then be hyperlinked. So if you create a page where your terms lives, or if you have a PDF or a file or something, you can then highlight these and hyperlink by hitting insert link. Okay, so that's like a really basic footer. And then what I'm going to do is go back to customize my site. I'm going to hit standard built-in page footer, and I'm going to find that one I just made called footer and hit save. And now that's going to automatically tack on the bottom of all of my pages. Now you won't see the footer there while you're editing the page. You'll only see it when you're viewing the page. So if you're editing and you're like, where's that footer? It's not there until you view it. So the next thing you're going to do is go to pages and create a home page. So we're going to hit add, and you'll see that they have all these different templates here. So you want to pick one. You can go from blank if you want, but assuming that you want to get this done kind of quickly, you want to pick one of these. I can tell you that some of these are really long. Like this one's longer. This one's really simple. I've been seeing this one a lot, and this one with the roses. I don't know why I see this so much. This is my least favorite one. Because of those roses. I hate those roses. Bianco Nero is probably the fanciest one. So if you like video backdrops and like a really chic modern look, this is a really good looking template. It is going to be harder to figure out editing it, possibly, depending on your background in this area. But I do think that one's really pretty. So I'm going to start with this one because I think it's going to work really well for just showing you basic features. So in this one, this is a custom menu at the top. And if you have the header turned on, so see this toggle here, it says show page header. If you have the header turned on, what's going to happen is, let me just call this test homepage. So I can preview it. You have to save it if you want to preview it. So what's happening here is now I have this as a menu, and I also have a menu showing up on the upper left here. So basically I have a double menu. So you don't have to do this. This is actually not a menu. It's just text that they're intending for you to hyperlink. So you can see each of them is hyperlinked to other pages. So if you like the look of that with the menu in the middle, you can leave it there, but then you might want to turn the header off because you'll have a double menu. Or you can go to the menu builder and remove that, and then you'll still have the logo in the upper left. So just keep in mind if you're like, why is this extra stuff up here? That's why. So I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm just going to hit all these little devices to hide this section, and that will make the section disappear. And we're going to go section by section through this template, and I'm going to walk you through some basic design stuff to keep in mind. So this template has a built-in footer, which I don't need because I already set up a default footer. So I'm going to take that out right off the bat. And each section on the page builder has this little navigation on it. So that's how you can tell it's a section. This is a section here. This is a section here with the green, and this pink one is a section as well. Okay, so I'm going to go one section at a time, and I'm going to say, okay, I can see this picture with the flowers and the cactuses is the background image. So if I hit the section pencil and go to background image, that's where it is. So I can now upload a different image. If you upload an image that is a vertical rectangle, it is going to look weird. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just not going to look the same. You see this one's a horizontal rectangle, so usually 2000 pixels wide on the background images. And let's see if I have sort of a default one. I'll do this, that kind of background image, or I might have one that's a little bit more subtle. These are just a lot of stock imagery. How about that one? Okay, so you upload your background image, and you can see that it fits there. And on the background image, you have different settings: cover, contain, wallpaper, single. So cover is going to fill the whole space. Contain, it shows, it's not stretching the picture out to fill the space. It's just showing the picture the size that it is. So now I have space on either side. So if we go to background color, I can actually change the color of that background area, or I can set my picture to cover, and then it covers the whole space. Okay, wallpaper and single are going to get weird. Wallpaper, look at that. You're like, what the heck? So, I mean, if you have an image that you want to turn into like a repeating image like that, you certainly can, but usually we're sticking with cover. Parallax means the image is fixed on the page, and the rest of the page is going to scroll past it, which is a cool effect. I'll set it to parallax for now so you can see how that works. Once you set the background, you can work on the content. So in this section here, this is a one column text box, one column section. So you can see it's text box, and a button. So at the top of the page, you have these editing modes. The A is for changing the text and the pictures that are within a section, not the background picture, the pictures within the section. So like this girl here, she's within this section. The magic wand is for doing fancy stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. And this one is for editing columns. So adding columns or taking columns away or changing the size of columns. So I'm going to stay on the A and I'm going to go through and change the text. Now the text here is white and my background color on this section is white. So when I open that text box, I can't see the text because it's white on white. It is actually there. So if you encounter that, just make your background a color. It doesn't change anything because the picture is over top of it. But now when I open the text box, I can actually see the color. Now I think this is funny. It says, I help moms create a life they love. And then there's a picture of this man. doesn't really fit. So I'm going to change it to dad's. And then the button, to change the button, you want to click on it. So this little bar opens up and then hit edit link. This is where the link is going and this is what it says. So you can either put hashtag lead, which makes a pop-up in the system. So create a pop-up on the page, or you can hit this little drop down and pick another page in your system. Or you can do an external link. So you can go somewhere else, any URL, you can just paste it in there. If you're leaving the website, I would open in a new tab, get my free guide. I'm going to leave that as is right now. And then if you want to change the color of the button, what I do is hit this little magic wand and I'm going to hover over the button. So just the button is highlighted. When I click that and go to background color on the right, you can see there's the pink color. So I'm going to do a darker color, or because there's a lot of brown in here. This is really dark, kind of, and now it doesn't pop at all. I'm going to stick with the dark blue for now. And because I'm on the button, I can now go down all of these different features here. I can go rounded corners, and I can hit edit all, and I can actually round the corners on the button. Oh, am I not? Rounded corner, edit all. Well, it's not going to let me do it. Maybe something to do with the template. That's kind of funny, but that's where you can round corners usually on elements. I can add a drop shadow here. And if I open this up, I can make the drop shadow white, which in this case, because it's dark on dark, I would do. And I can impact the opacity and the angle of my shadow. So it's more like that. So you can do that kind of thing. On this, you might want to add a drop shadow that's dark so that the white text pops a little bit. So you can do those kinds of things with your elements. You can also adjust things up and down, left and right. Now, please keep in mind that if you move anything left and right, if you adjust the padding, the margins, or the positions left and right, it's not going to look good on mobile anymore. This is fine. If you like the way it looks, you need to move something so it looks good on desktop. But just note that you're going to have to make another section for mobile. So up here we have on the section, these are all the devices that this section is visible on. So right now it's visible on all types of devices. And if I go up here to the preview mode, I can preview phone and I can see, well, it cuts off my guy, right? But the text is all in the middle. So maybe I want the guy showing. So I can turn it off for phone and duplicate the section. And now I can try and figure out how to make that guy show. So I'm going to make this section mobile only and turn off the big screens. And this is my mobile section and this is my desktop section. So how do I make the guy show? Well, I'm going to play with my features here. So I might be able to left and right adjust him a little bit. Now you can see because he's on contain, that doesn't really work. Cover, it's not going to work. I think the only way to make him show up without him being tiny like that is to set this to no background. And then what I would do in this case is I would put him above the text because he's off to the left in that image. So unless I crop the image. Okay. So now this guy is going to be visible, but I'm going to take all the padding off and I'm going to make a space here and I'm going to make my font size a lot smaller for mobile. I'm going to make it single space. Okay, so let's see how that looks on mobile now. Now I can see my whole guy. The pop-up is going to get annoying. I'll fix that in a minute. I can see my whole guy and my text is not cut off in a weird way. So you can play with things like that if you're like, why doesn't it look normal? Now I'd probably take off the picture and I probably would crop him. In this case, to crop him, what I'm doing is I'm going to click on the picture so the text box opens up and then click on it again. So I get these blue squares in the corners and then I hit advanced edit and I can actually crop this guy so that he's maybe a bit more square. Hit apply, hit save. And then I'm going to take the drop shadow off of him because I don't like that. And I want him to be as big as he can be in this space, which he is. I'm going to hit the magic wand, select him, and take the drop shadow off. Let's see if I can get that off of him. Maybe it's there, drop shadow. Sometimes it's hard to tell with the template where the shadow is. I might not be able to do it right now, to play with it, but it's not showing me where the shadow is. Okay, well, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, so you have all of these different features you can play with. So I'm probably going to fix my button for the mobile to be different color now. And I'll probably take that shadow off of it as well because now it looks like it's glowing. Drop shadow remove. Okay, so you get my idea here. So that because if you want things to go left and right, you want to fix things left and right, you're making a separate mobile section. So why does that pop up keep happening? If you're using this template, go to settings, go to leads, hit lead capture form shows, don't show. It turns it off for now. You can make a pop-up later, but right now it's irritating. So now I'm going to go to my next section. I've made that first section look the way I want. Next section, same thing. I can now go through and replace. So I don't like having bold dark color with a bold dark color. So in this case, I'd probably go to a white, and I'm going to highlight the text box and the picture here with the girl. And I'm just going to switch the font to be a dark color, maybe black, better. And for her, I'm going to click on the picture and I'm going to hit replace. You can pull in from your computer or from your previous pictures. And I'll make the section here. I'm going to add some padding. So I'm going to go to the pencil and I'm going to space this out a bit more. And I'm going to use my magic wand and get the pink to be the same blue as the other one up here. And then on the picture of the man here, again, rounded corners, I can make him a circle. I can add a drop shadow on him. I will bring the drop shadow off to the left a little bit. And you can play with that. And then on this section down here, pink doesn't really match the vibe of the rest of the template. So I'm going to maybe go with like a different color that's kind of within this color scheme. So we'll go to this gray. I'm going to lighten it up a bit. And then you can then adjust your font and pictures to match what you want. I think I'm just going to make this the dark blue and a bit bigger. So you're directing people to your offers. First action you want them to take on your site. So get my free thing here, or check out my services, or whatever you want. So each of these pictures, again, click on them, hit replace, go into your pictures and find a picture that you want to replace it with. And then I should have one that says 2. There it is. Okay. And then you can adjust your copy. And if you want to add a button, click where you want the button to go. Hit the little plus symbol, insert button, put button in that you want, change what it says, and then go over here. And I always ask people, what's the first thing you want someone to do on your site? Like, what actions are we taking on this site? This one's going to be more. And then we'll go through bit by bit and adjust it to make it do what we want. So we're going to go through these and just make them the blue first. And then this one, it's being a bit of a jerk about the spacing. See, the spacing's not quite right, but you can move things around a little bit if you use the magic wand. If I click on the button and I hit position adjustment, down here I can go up and down, so I can actually move it if I want to. So now that I have a basic page put together, I can hit the preview and I can kind of start to, you can see that default footer there now. Like, okay, what do I like about this? What do I want to change? Do I want to add any shadows? Do I want to update my copy? Make sure my buttons are connected to where they need to go, and make sure it's looking good on mobile. Stuff that's in columns will stack left on top of right, but nothing's cut off. So it's looking okay. I mean, my logo doesn't really match, but that's because it wasn't designed for this page. But you get the idea in terms of basic design. This is who I am. This is who I serve. This is how I serve them. Here's the first thing you should do on my website. A little bit about you. Get my free thing here. Check out my services over here. That's the basics of a simple site. Get it up and running. The next thing you want to do is go to settings and hit make this my site's homepage. That will make it the homepage for your AttractWell account. And if you haven't connected a domain yet, then all you need to do is email their support team, which is support@attractwell.com, and say, hey, I need a domain. If you want to buy it through them, it's $10. If you have a domain already, you bought it at GoDaddy, still email them and say, I need a domain, and they're going to tell you what to do on the GoDaddy end, and they'll just connect it for you for free. All right, so it's pretty easy to get that up and running. And once you connect your domain, it'll take people straight to your homepage. And then from there, you can go into your AttractWell menu, go to the website part of the menu and go to menu. And here you can build out your site navigation. So your first one is going to go to your homepage. So header links to homepage. This is what it says in the menu, and this is where it's going. And then you can add more. So you could say, this is going to my blog, this is going to my member area, this is going to my contact me pop-up or another page. So if you build an about page, then you can pick it, about page, and then what's it going to say in the menu? About. And you're starting to build your menu. If you can add items under these, you'll have a drop down. And hit save, view it, see how it looks, test all your links. But essentially, you just need your homepage to get started. You can add maybe a link to a freebie or a link to, if you're going to be doing programs and selling through their vaults, you can have a login over there to the member area, but you're starting with a homepage. So just last tips on getting your site up and running. If you're going to be payment processing, you need to go down to My Account, Settings, Payment Processing, connect Stripe. If you're going to be booking, like coaching, go to bookings, go to My Calendars, and connect a Google or a Microsoft calendar. From there, you can start creating call packages and booking types. Once you create call packages and booking types, you have to add them to a page before you can add payment. So keep that in mind. But if you're going to be adding different offers, you need to do those two steps. You need to connect a calendar and connect your payment processing. They don't have another payment processor other than Stripe. So unless you want to use Zapier to connect things, so you can use a different payment processor, right now you have to set up Stripe. But it's pretty easy to do that. So that's it. That's my whole simple page tutorial for you. Hopefully that was helpful in just doing basic edits. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions and what else you'd like to see. And as always, make sure you visit my website at pamlazon.com. I have a lot of free resources available for you. You can also submit an inquiry to hire me to build out your site on any platform, or you can check out my Launch and Grow Your Online Business ebook. This ebook gives you everything you need to get your business off the ground and running. We are going to be covering how to build your brand, how to define your audience, step-by-step website creation, the power of SEO, crafting your client journey, marketing strategies that really work. Plus, I give you an essential checklist and quick start guide to walk through all of the things you're going to need for your business so that you don't miss anything. And this is including copywriting tips and how to write a good marketing email campaign. So it is a very complete ebook that I have based off of all of my countless calls with entrepreneurs just like you, getting things started who don't feel like they're tech savvy, not sure what they need. This is all catered to you to make it as easy as possible. So make sure you check that out because it's only $9.99 Canadian. It's a really great deal, especially if you're American, because the Canadian dollar is not doing too hot these days. And so this is going to be a lot less for you. But give it a look and make sure you visit my site. Thanks so much.